What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Career Mode. It's been a few days, of course. If you've been following the My Player Career Mode, you know why. For anybody who doesn't watch that series, though, because there might be a couple of people, I don't know. Basically, I had to go and cover for one of my, my parents. They own their own business. And my mum fell ill, so I had to go and cover basically for the last few days. So I've been away from my PC and from my Xbox. Everything's okay now, though, so it's cool. Should be getting back to normality, so I apologize for the massive delay in between episodes, but hopefully you guys understand. So if you missed the earlier video of today, it was the My Player Career Mode. If you guys want to check it out, it did upload at 4 p.m. Today, we are uploading this at 6, so for all of you guys who are going to be entertained, if you missed the last episode, we had a very weird one because the footage kind of went a bit strange, if you will. So today's episode, the plan is to get through a few games here and there, quite a few games, actually maybe 6 or 7 today. A couple of them are simmed, or quite a few of them are simmed rather, and there's a couple of games for you guys to watch as well. So with this game here against Zenit St. Petersburg, we decided to sim it. It was the last game in the group stage of the Champions League, guys, and I was 3 points clear at the top of the table. So I went ahead and thought to myself, well, worst case scenario, we lose the game here, and we end up going through as second place. So we were basically through the group. It was just whether or not we were going to go through as second or first. So I decided to sim it regardless. We won the lot through Marcus Rashford, and then Rigoni scored for them through a penalty. He then went on to miss another penalty. There was 3 penalties in this game, actually, which is crazy. He missed that one there. Bonaventura then scored in the 75th minute, and we ended up going on to win the game. So from that situation, it wasn't too bad, which means now we're through the group as group winners. And I forgot to actually check who we've got. So I don't even know who we've got in the first round of the knockout stage of the Champions League. So I guess it'll be a pleasant surprise for me and you. And I'm going to try and do that episode live with it being the knockouts for you guys. So hopefully that will be coming in the next couple of days. But this one, we've now got to play some Premier League games. And we're falling away from the top spot in the Premier League. I don't know what's going on. United have just turned into this dominant force. And they just don't look like dropping at the moment. So it's pretty much going to be seeing whether or not we can improve our performances in the league and try and get ourselves a top 4 spot alongside doing very well in the Champions League. That's going to be the aim, I think, for this season, because of the fact that we won the Premier League last year. It's a little bit of weight off my shoulders, and as this game went into fruition, we were 6 points, I do believe, away from United, who were top. So, yeah, anything less than a victory here won't be great if we want to try and push them for the title. So Watford, who did push us for the title last season, are going to be our opponents here. They've fallen away somewhat in this second season. Maybe it's because of their Champions League football that they're currently playing as well. That is something we need to consider. And I also wanted to see if the English teams got through the Champions League group stage, and I didn't do that either. So I'll remember to do it for the next episode, hopefully, guys. And as we kicked off this episode here, we ended up with the first chance. Aaron Moy picking up this ball after a Smolov header was won. Bonaventura goes down the left-hand side. Major credit to him. Whips a nice little driven cross across the face of goal, just in that corridor of uncertainty. Keeper doesn't really know whether or not he should come or go for it. And in the end, he probably makes the wrong decision, because there was Smolov to tap home and say thank you very much. 9 minutes into the game, we'll take the lead. Happy days. So there you go. I mean, couldn't really ask for a better start, could I? So, yeah, not too bad there. But I have to admit, Pantilimon, with the size of him, you would expect maybe he should do better with that one. He doesn't even try to stop the cross. He just stays where he is, and that's why we are now leading by a 1-0. So, yeah, Watford, not a great start. They had such a good year last year in the Premier League. This year it's going to be tough for them to repeat it, just like it's going to be tough for us to repeat it as well. So we're doing the right stuff, though, in this game now to try and get a victory. Let's hopefully try to see this one out. So 1-0 up, 10 minutes in. Still a long way to go, though. And 18 minutes into the game, we had our second chance. It was really nicely worked all day long from us, actually. We were holding on possession pretty well, and we were not doing the right stuff in order to set ourselves up with chances. And this one falls the way of Bonaventura, who, of course, got the assist for number 1. He now grabs himself a goal for number 2. And I'm pretty sure it was assisted by Smolov. So 1-2 for these two guys. The first one assisted by Bonaventura, finished off by Smolov. The second one assisted by Smolov, finished off by Bonaventura. So, yeah, pretty much like a 1-2, I guess you can say. So returning the favour, if you will. And it was a lovely strike as well, because that's not an easy finish to make by any stretch of the imagination from Bonaventura. So nice finish, 2-0 up. We are cruising here at Watford, and this looks like it could be a good day at the office for us, as we celebrated our second in the first 21 minutes of it now, and a 20-something million pound signing has had a semi-decent start to the season, hasn't he? So as we kick-started the second half off, I do believe, 72 minutes into it was the first chance of the second half. Isaac's success now for Watford. Finds Zarate. Zarate, lovely close dribbling. Feeds the ball to... I don't really know how on earth that's gone in the back of the net, and I'm not going to try and say the Watford man's name. I'm going to call him number 47. That was like one of those goals that I just felt you just don't do anything against. Literally, like the pass, he gets caught, and I just didn't defend against it well. But then he hits an effort from, what, 30 yards, 25 yards out? And maybe I'm being a bit, like, I guess, over dramatic there. Maybe it's 20 yards out, let's say. And he just, you know, just smashes it in like it's nothing. So... can't really do too much against that. It was a worldie of a goal right in the top corner. Keeper doesn't really have a chance with that one. It's 2-1, and it's going to set us up for a last nervy 15 minutes or so here. So I suppose if we get the victory, Watford can claim goal of the game, because that was a sensational one from Bergwijn. I don't know. Probably got it wrong. Number 47. That's his name anyway. So, yeah. And then 90 minutes in, really should score here. I don't know what happened to me. I tried to finesse it past Pantelimon. Good save, but it didn't matter, because that was the way the game would end. So, yeah, we did come away with the 3 points. As I said, though, Steven couldn't grab the goal of the game. And for Watford, it was a lovely goal, but it's not quite enough to get any points from it. So, for us, happy days, 3 points on the board. And it means, of course, now we've closed that gap a little bit more to United, and we're trying to keep pace with them. I think that's going to be the important bit. I'm not really too bothered about winning it, but as long as we can be competitive and certainly, you know, not too far away from United, that will be always good to see. And I suppose now, 15 games in, we're on 33 points. There's Bournemouth as well, who had a game in hand. United had a game in hand after we played that one, and I think they played them after that, and we pretty much were where we were after that game had finished. Decided to sim this one against Wolves here. Smolov scored in the 9th minute to give us the lead. This should be 3 points, and I don't want to sound like bad or anything, but, you know, team-wise, I would like to think on paper we have a better side, and, of course, home advantage. You would like to think that we could get the victory, and luckily for us, Smolov added a second in the 57th minute before Ince added a third, and we did go on to win the game by 3-0. So, another 3 points on the board. It's another decent day at the office, and I know as well, guys, you've got to consider... I know I'm simming a fair few games, but of course I don't want to sit here playing every single game of career mode. I want to try and get through the seasons a bit quicker, because this year I know for a fact that around Christmas time or something, I may not have as much time as I did, you know, kind of like I used to do, because of course my real life commitments and stuff, if I get to the point where I'm running out of time, I need to really, you know, push myself and try and put out videos as much as I can. So I don't want to be having to sit here playing game after game of FIFA and only getting through 2 seasons in, like, you know, a month or 2 months. So I don't want to have that situation, basically. So yeah, and I want to make a Road to Glory career mode, but what I'm going to do is, guys, that's most likely going to come around the end of November, the start of December, and then that way it gives you guys something to build up Christmas with, like an advent calendar, if you will. So yeah, and I have some interesting ideas for that Road to Glory career mode that's coming later on. As I said, I want to try and get a fair bit into this one first, so in that way I can end this one off as that one really begins its, you know, kind of transition or something. But I have some, like, rule sets and stuff this time around that I didn't have in the previous year of FIFA. Of course, if you remember what we did in FIFA 17, we had a Road to Glory career mode, and we just played it through with Hartlepool taking them to the Premier League. This time around, there's going to be certain rule sets I have to adhere to. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be quite a good series, I think, and it should be quite good to say the least. So, now we're going to be trying our best to take on Leicester here at the King Power and defeat them. And we did get off to a good start. Smolov, who has scored so many goals in this episode so far, gets himself another one. This one is a lovely, lovely finish into the top corner. 19th minute on the clock, and we led by a goal to 0, which actually, coincidentally, Leicester had actually offered me the job role, if you remember a few episodes ago, to go over to the King Power and try and take them, I guess, forward after we had won the Premier League title with Huddersfield. But I declined it, of course, because I wanted to stay at Huddersfield, use this Champions League season, see what we can do, and then make our decision, of course, based on that. But if you will, Leicester wouldn't be a bad job to take over, but I just wasn't interested at this given time. So it's nice to make sure that I'm making the right decision by defeating them, and of course we've set ourselves up to doing that with the first goal of the game. It's his 11th in the Premier League season. The top scorer of last season has now got 11 for the season so far. So looking to retain his golden boot, which I was surprised, guys, because I said to you all in the previous season when we ended, I was expecting to get offers galore for Smolov, but no one really offered for him. No one really came in and actually made an offer, unless they think he's a one-season wonder and wanted to see if he could do it again. That could be a possibility, and right now he is certainly doing it again. So, yeah, maybe we'll get offers this time around. Who knows? But somebody else who's also important to us, who sadly leaves us at the end of this season, is Marcus Rashford. and he has just slotted in the second of the game here. Leicester did have a chance just before this, you saw, but they couldn't actually convert the chance. And I felt like in this game, whoever got the second one would go on to win it, or whoever got the second goal of the game would go on to win it. So if Leicester had scored that chance and made it 1-1, I felt momentum was going to go with them, and maybe they'd have gone on to get 3 points. But I felt if we got a second, that we would shore up our defence, shore up shop, and end up with 3 points. So we'll see if my theory is going to be correct in this game now. 2-0 up, Leicester City. I felt they had to score that goal in order to get something out of the game, and they didn't do. And on the stroke of half-time, Rashford beats Mahrez for pace. No chance the Algerian keeps up with him. He then does that defender there so simply before feeding the pass across to Ince. And there is goal number 3. So, as I said, it looked like it was going to be just a goal route at this stage now. And 45 minutes into it, we still got the entirety of the second half to come. Leicester's defence looked shaky. We're on top form. We're banging them in for fun. And that's number 3. And we're not even in the second half yet. So, Ince, just before he left the field of play, because, of course, we've now got Hill coming on after I did make the change as soon as he scored, will now leave with a goal to his name. So not too bad for him. And the second half began, guys. Leicester started it off like they'd had a great team talk and looked like they wanted to give us a game here. Moose, a great ball through to Spinazzola, and he hits his effort goalwards. But luckily for us, the post is there to save us. Otherwise, that would have been 3-1. I want a clean sheet at the end of the day. I would happily take a 3-0 win over anything else. But Kyle Walker-Peters says, nope, we can have number 4 here as he whips across in. And there is Smolov to grab his second of the day and make it 4-0 to us now. So 12 league goals for the season so far. It is looking like he's going to have a stormer of a season again. So, yeah, 4-0. And we are cruising to victory here. I don't know what to make of Leicester because I felt like attacking, they weren't too bad, but just they just looked so shaky defensively. And they actually had a fairly decent defence in terms of their players. Zuma and I think it was Maguire that was the other centre-back. I just couldn't really put my finger on what was going wrong for them. And then, to make matters worse, they concede a penalty. So they're 4-0 down, looking like they could go to 5-0 down here. And not really the situation you want to be in as a referee. Gestures the man over and books Vicente Iborra. And that should now, hopefully, if we can convert the penalty, be number 5 for us. Rashford was stood over it, but because it was Smolov on a hat-trick, I decided to give it to him instead. I could have quite easily gone with Rashford, and he probably would have converted it fairly easy as well, but I decided to go with Smolov. Goal number 3 gaping, and unfortunately, the post denies us now. So Leicester denied by the post once. Now we've also been denied by the post as well. So there you go, 4-0 win. Could have been 5, but sadly, we hit the post, that penalty. And it means that Smolov grabs another 2 goals to add to his tally already. As I said, I forgot to show you the Champions League draw, who we pulled in the knockout rounds. I'll try and remember to do so within the next episode. And I'll see if Watford made it through and the other team in the Champions League as well. So for now, that's how we're going to end today's episode off. If you did enjoy it, a like, rating, we greatly appreciate it, guys. As always, thank you for your continued support on the channel. Thank you as well for your continued support over the last couple of days, especially when there wasn't any videos on the Saturday and the Sunday when I missed 2 days of uploads because I was away with other stuff. So thank you for your continued support over that period of time as well. Hopefully we get back to normal as we make a signing here on a loan deal. Dominic Calvert-Lewin of Everton. We are looking to bring him in as like a backup striker. I saw that Everton weren't playing him and I was like, okay, we'll just bring him in. If we get an injury to the likes of Smolov, Meunier or Isaac, we have Calvert-Lewin there as well. So I kind of looked at this and thought maybe if Rashford goes back to United, Calvert-Lewin could be the man to replace him. Of course, we've got Alexander Isaac as well. We've got Meunier. So that's kind of thinking about when Rashford does in fact leave. Not quite as good as Rashford, but still. And we ended up with one last sim game. Spurs was that team. I wanted to see if my team on paper could match that of Spurs, even at home here. And in the end, we go on to lose it by 1-0. So not quite what I was looking at. But I do need a little bit more in terms of upgrades. And then I think we could sim against any team and still have a good chance of winning. So we'll try and build on that, if you will. We do lose 1-0, as I said. Dele Alli with a finish. So that's how we end today's episode off. Thank you so much for watching this one. Thank you for watching the early upload as well. I'm not quite sure if there'll be a double upload tomorrow, guys. It depends on how much time I get to work with and if I am required elsewhere. So yeah, that's going to be it for today. I will hopefully see you all again at 4 p.m. UK time tomorrow, guys, for yet another video. Don't miss it. If you're not already, hit that bell, get a notification. You never miss an upload. That's how it works, guys. See you all tomorrow. Adios.